Did you know that mindfulness can physically change your brain? They have done MRIs on people who have a daily meditation practice or mindfulness practice, and the structure and even the function of their brains changed over time by having this mindfulness practice. And I get it. You're saying, I'm super busy. I don't have time for this. I get it. As someone who has the most FOMO ever and tries to do all the things all the time, I always felt like I was too busy to add mindfulness in, but I've come up with some wonderful ways where you can add it in into just little pieces in your life. And not only will it make you more mindful and more calm, it'll also make you soak up life so much more. How many times have you said, I can't believe it's 5 o'clock already? Or, oh my gosh, is it December again? It happens to us all the time because we are just rushing through life instead of getting intentional and enjoying right now. Instead of enjoying the journey, we're always focused on, oh, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if, when I get that promotion, when I go to that place, when I get that car. No, enjoy the journey, be mindful now, and I assure you, not only does your life get less stressful, but you also love your life so much more when you get mindful. And you have opportunities from the moment your eyes open to the moment your eyes close at night. You have so many opportunities throughout the day to get more mindful. So I'm going to go through those. We'll start with the morning ones, some for during the day and some for the evening. Take whatever you like, use as many as you like, or just use one, but I highly suggest giving just one of them a try. But who am I? I'm Kat. I'm a productivity addict, a people pleaser, a recovering perfectionist, and I am working on all of these things, and I've been doing it for years. So I'm going to be giving you all of the ideas I've collected both from myself, from reading, from working with coaches, and share them with you now. Let's start with the morning. When you wake up in the morning, as soon as you open your eyes, honestly, before you open your eyes, you have the opportunity to say some beautiful words to yourself. Words of affirmation can be very powerful, and they set your day on a certain note. There have even been studies about this, of when we speak nicely to ourselves, it can change how our day unfolds and how we feel. I'll give you 2 examples, but you of course can make your own. There's a quote by a Zen master that I absolutely love. I used to have this on a post-it beside my bed. It goes like this: waking up this morning, I smile. 24 brand new hours are before me. I vow to live each moment and look at all beings with eyes of compassion. What a beautiful mindset to start your day with. Not only are you looking at it as, look at all these opportunities, all these new hours in which I can do whatever I want, whatever I choose to do, whoever I want to be. I have all these hours in front of me. And then I also love that he reminds himself to be compassionate. Everyone on earth is just doing the best job they can. I know there are some people we wish we could change, however, they aren't in our control. And so approaching people with compassion, approaching them and realizing, I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what your perspectives and experiences are. I'm just gonna show up and can be compassionate with you. One that I started using after this was a list of affirmations that I put together for myself. So these are things that I didn't always feel were true. And so it was important for me to say them to myself to remind myself that they are true. So these are them. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I love myself, I'm bold, I'm beautiful, I'm brilliant, I can handle anything, and I am enough. Some mornings when I just am having a hard time getting out of bed, or even when I'm struggling to sleep, sometimes I will say these things to myself. I'll even say them to myself out loud in the mirror if I'm having a really bad day and I'm at home, because they're just such good reminders to ground myself, because we can get caught up with that critic in our head sometimes, and this brings you back to a better frame of mind. So I highly suggest making your own. If you feel like sharing them down below, I would love to hear them. The next one is journaling. Now, you might feel like, oh, I don't have time for that. You have 5 minutes. Don't lie to me. While your coffee or tea is brewing, sit down for 5 minutes and journal. Set a timer and just take the 5 minutes. You can make it less time if you have to. It could be 2 minutes, but in an ideal world, take 5 minutes in the morning, set a timer, and just brain dump. Whatever is in your head, get it out of there and get it on the paper. Writing it down allows you to slow down your thoughts. It allows you to figure them out a little bit more, sort through them, and figure out how you feel about things. And it also lets you know what emotional state you're in. After you write it down, you can ask yourself these questions. What emotional state am I in? And what might I need to do next to serve this emotional state? What do I need to do for myself today to better set myself up for success? For instance, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, so you might want to meditate, or make sure you go for a workout, or go for a walk, or talk to a friend about whatever it is you're feeling overwhelmed about. Maybe you're feeling stuck or demotivated. Is there someone that you can message who could be your accountability buddy for getting something done today that will make you feel great? If you're not in the ideal state, think about something you can do for yourself that will help you get closer to that today. Now, let's say you're uncomfortable with just brain dumping. You're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know. There's nothing in there. Here are some questions you can journal about. How would today go if it was the ideal day? I love this one because it's just putting out the most amazing, beautiful day. I used to do this every day and I really liked it, and I found generally it ended up going along that line. But you could also write about, where have I grown recently? What's an area of my life I've grown in? How can I give back today? How can I add value to someone else today? What can I do that can help someone else out today? What's something I'm really grateful for right now? I love that one. Gratitude is just such a wonderful place to live in. Or something like, what is a big lesson I've learned over the last 3 months or the last year? Something that you really want to make sure that you don't forget. Something that you didn't know a few years ago that's really changed how you move through life. But seriously, you have time. Even if you take 2 minutes, you have 2 minutes. Even if you just do it for a week or two, just do it even for 2 minutes. Just get a little bit of that stuff that's happening in your head onto some paper. Really, paper and pencil I think is better. And you'll be amazed how it sets you up for the day. Now, let's say you have a little bit more time. I highly suggest meditation, 5 to 10, 15 minutes. Usually I end up working my way up. I like to use an app called Balance. It's free for the first year, so that's why I got onto it. And then I paid one price and then have it forever. And I love it. You can work through specific ones and it slowly builds on top of itself, or you can just pick a random one that's 5 minutes, that's a reset, and you just hop into it. If I'm not using a guided one from that app, then I try to just focus in this moment. I try to focus on my breath, on grounding myself, on what part of my body is touching what right now. How do I feel? Check in with my body. Are there any aches or pains? Do I feel tingling? What is it? Just be here in this moment only. Keep in mind that thoughts are going to come up. I remember a girl I was talking to said, I'm terrible at meditating. I just think too much. That's kind of the whole thing. The idea is that you're trying to stay in this moment and thoughts are going to pop up. Even monks who've been doing this forever, yes, they get to a quiet state faster maybe, but thoughts still come up. But that's the thing. You want to have it come up, not judge it. Just be like, oh, there it is. Oh, I'm thinking about things. Bring it back and just let it dissolve like a cloud. And then just bring your attention back to your breath. At first, it is going to be hard. And again, as someone who has a very busy mind, I get it. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then you can up the time if you have time for it. If you don't, you can even just take a few deep breaths. Just take a few moments of calm for yourself before your entire day kicks off. Now, there are lots of different ways of meditating and you can find what's right for you. I've really enjoyed body scans and you can go and look these up afterwards, but body scans are great, checking in with your entire body. Box breathing can be really great if you're someone who gets a little bit anxious like myself. Zazen meditation can be great. You count your breaths and if you lose track, you start again. Visualization can be really nice. I like to picture a beach and I think about all the details of putting my feet into the sand and how the ocean would sound and the waves and how the water would feel touching my feet. All those little things, putting yourself in a place that you find very calming or tranquil. You could do a loving kindness one, which involves putting love and kindness out into the world, out for someone else. Or even a walking meditation. You can choose just to be in this moment while you're walking somewhere. Notice all of the details along your way. Be in this moment. Don't think about what you have to do later or what you did before. Just think about this moment right now. Let's look at some daytime options. So those, let's say, would be morning things. You can, of course, do any of those whenever you want, but I tend to do those in the morning personally. So during the day, bumps are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen that you're not gonna love. Things are not gonna go the way that you imagine them going. So I have some powerful questions that I like to ask myself when that critic in my head starts to go down a bad path. When something happens that you really didn't wanna have happen and it's threatening to ruin your day, I like to ask myself, is this the thing that's going to ruin my day? And often when I put it like that, I think, of course not. This is gonna ruin my day. Absolutely not. And it's really helped me from having a lot of stupid little moments ruin my day. And this could be anything. It could be a rude remark from a colleague. It could be you just missed your train. It could be your laptop decided to restart right before this big meeting that you're supposed to run. And you could be tempted to get really upset and really frustrated, or you could take a breath and you could decide, this is out of my control. You can't change these things that happen. They're just going to happen. So many things are out of your control. All you can control is how you react and what your next steps are. So choose how you're going to react, choose what your next steps are, and let it go. Don't let it ruin your day. This next one is possibly my favorite. I think it's why I'm so happy in life, and I like to call it enchanting the mundane. Don't you feel fancy already? Like you're about to have a tea party with fairies or something? Okay, so enchanting the mundane is when you're going through everyday life, you're doing something normal. I don't know, you're drinking your coffee or you're walking somewhere or you're in a commute and it's whatever. It's fine. It's life. It is what it is. But instead, I try to make it enchanting. So I focus on all the little details. Is the sun on my face right now? Ooh, that sun feels so nice. I'm so lucky to have this sun on me right now. It's just warming up my skin. That feels great. Or, oh, look at that beautiful flower that I just passed. Isn't Mother Nature just so amazing? Or a couple walks by me and they're sharing a lovely laugh and they're clearly having a cute moment. How nice for them. Find the things in this moment that make it lovely and soak it up. Soak that feeling up into your core. It involves a lot of gratitude and a lot of being happy for other people. And I just find that that makes my heart feel like it's glowing. A twist on that, and this one is more so an imagination thing, I like to come up with where these people are going or where they've just come from or what they might be thinking about, but I make it fantastical. This person just found out that they have powers like Harry Potter, but they have to tell their girlfriend tonight and they're thinking about the words to use. And then they're also thinking about what magic spell they want to use, prove that they in fact have powers. Ridiculous things like this that make me laugh. Or, this one's a favorite, what if everyone just broke out like a flash mob into a dance number? That one really brings me a lot of joy, especially if I'm listening to a specific song. I imagine that everyone suddenly starts getting in on that goodness. What a wild life it would be. But all I'm saying is be on the lookout for these little moments. It can be small. You can be having a cup of coffee and think, how warm this is, how it smells so good. Just these little things throughout our life. When you romance your own life, you have so many more beautiful moments and so many of your days seem like great days instead of just okay days. This one is my favorite for when setbacks happen. They're gonna happen. When something doesn't go your way, catch yourself and don't get into that victim mindset. Let's say you were hoping for that promotion, or you were really excited about that special muffin they make at the coffee shop around the corner, or you were trying to catch this train because if you don't catch this train, you're gonna be late and you missed it. There are all these moments that happen every day, and we can choose, again, how we react and what our next steps are. These are things that are completely out of our control, so why do we let them bother us? Why do we let them color our day? Instead, what I like to do is how could this thing going wrong actually be a good thing? Why could it be good that this didn't happen? For instance, let's say you didn't get that job or you didn't get that promotion. Maybe there's another job around the corner that if you'd gotten this job, you wouldn't have been able to get that one. Or maybe a new person's gonna start and they become the love of your life at this current job. Maybe right after you miss that train, you end up talking with a beautiful stranger for the hour until the next train comes. I know, there's a little bit of romanticizing my life there as well. And maybe not getting that muffin means that you've stuck to your diet that you started and it's actually a good thing. All those workouts will pay off. There are always opportunities where you can reframe these bad things into good things. There's a phrase I really like, good thing, bad thing, who knows? The next one is our inner thoughts. Many of our minds have an inner dialogue going on throughout the day. We have thoughts and opinions about almost everything that happens around us. And I have a great way to help you grow and help you sort of sort those ideas out. I highly suggest for 1 week, 2 weeks if you can do it, but for sure for 1 week, track the dialogue in your mind in relation to what you're getting up to. You could set a timer for once an hour. When that timer goes off, write down what you're doing, what emotional state you're in, and what your inner dialogue is doing. At the end of the week, look at what emotional domain you're in most of the time. What activities put you in the best frame of mind, and what really drained your energy and put you in a bad place? What activities might you want to not do as much to make sure that you're staying in a positive mindset more often? Keep in mind that that inner dialogue has a strong effect on how you experience that world. Whether you have a coach or a critic in your head can completely change how the day goes for you. But I assure you, it is like a muscle. When I was younger, I had a very negative mindset. It was just a critic constantly saying terrible things to me all the time. And it got to the point where I thought, if this is what life is going to be like, I can't do this. And so I changed it. And slowly over time, just like how you work out a muscle and build that, this critic has become a coach 95% of the time. Be kind to yourself. Forgive yourself. Be your own best friend and your own cheerleader. Talk to yourself the way that you would talk to your best friend. It shocks me how often we talk so terribly to ourselves in ways that we would never speak to a friend. And you are going to be with yourself the most. And of all the humans on earth, you are who you're going to be with most of the time. So why not make that a great relationship and work on not having that victim mindset. Have a growth mindset instead. It has been game changer for me. When bad things happen, instead of thinking, why me? But instead ask yourself powerful questions like, how can I change this? Or what is in my control? And then go and do that. You are so much more powerful and capable and resilient than I think you give yourself credit for. How would your life be different if you saw every challenge as an opportunity and every failure as a stepping stone to just level up more? All right, on to the next one. Being present with others is a great way to be mindful, and it also wraps up socializing in it, which is perfect. Being present with others has made my relationship so much more deeper, meaningful, and interesting. One of the biggest gifts that you can give another human being is to actively listen to them and be present for them. Don't sit there listening so that you can just respond. Be actually curious to understand this other human in front of you and ask questions to get into more depth about what they're passionate about. Be there to listen. Put your phone away, put it on silent, get it off the table, because just even having it in your hand, there's a famous Simon Sinek talk where he talks about, imagine I had my phone right now, and he grabs someone's phone and he's like, see, now I'm telling you that someone else more important might call and I might just get out of here. You don't want to let people feel that way about them. You want them to know that you were here for them specifically. As someone who has a busy mind though, because I know you might be saying, oh, but my mind wanders. I get it. My mind wanders all the time. I'm thinking about what I need to do later, what my to-do list is, how I wish that other conversation maybe went a little bit better. Bring yourself back. So when you notice that's happening, what I like to do is I like to focus, much like a meditation, on the specific things happening in this room. Usually I'll start by taking a breath. Then I start looking at the body language of the person that I'm talking to. What is their body language telling me about how they're feeling, about what they're talking about? What is their tone telling me? Is their tone really happy and upbeat, or is their tone sort of quiet? What words are they using? What words are they specifically choosing to describe this thing? What information can I get from all these little details will really bring you into the moment and keep your mind from wandering elsewhere? And then focus on digging deeper with them. My favorite, as I say all the time, is tell me more. Someone says something about a topic, tell me more. And then it allows them to head in whatever direction they would like to go in, but reveal a bit more about themselves. What do you mean by that? Or can you expand on that? Or say more, are also options for you to get a little bit deeper into there and allow them to open up in whatever way they feel comfortable. And this allows that other person in front of you to feel heard, maybe to feel understood. And only through active listening and having these kind of deep discussions are you ever truly going to get to understand other people, their perspectives, their experiences, and all that juicy stuff that makes an interesting conversation. And now we will move into the nighttime. These are things that I like to do at night. Again, you don't have to do all the things in this video. You can try little things on for size. And if you do try one of them, feel free to comment down below. Let me know how it went, if you liked it, or which one you're planning to try. If you want to do a bit of an accountability, feel free to comment below. The first thing is recharging yourself. As someone who is a busy bee running around all the time, I've had to learn what recharges me. So if you did that exercise that I mentioned where you take a week and you write down your emotional state and what activity you're doing and yada, 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 this will give you a great sense of what activities charge you and what activities do not. You might think, much like I did, that having a drink and watching a show on TV was something that recharges me, but it doesn't. It didn't make me feel great, the drinking. And then watching the TV, didn't really find that it recharged my brain. It had it feeling tension with whatever I was watching, and it didn't make me feel better. And it also led to me beating myself up. I'd be like, oh, you weren't productive. You at least could have worked on some art or done a hobby or done some stretching or worked out. But instead I watched TV for hours. But when I did that exercise, I realized that what put me into the best states and what really recharged me was having deep and meaningful conversations with other people, meditating, or going to the sauna and turning my brain off. I really like the sauna because you can't bring your phone in. No technology is there. It's just you and the heat, and that is it. You're alone with your thoughts, having a bath, and reading. Those were the things that recharge me. Making art can also. So getting a list of what recharges you, and it's different for different people. What recharges me won't necessarily recharge you, but it's important to put in the work to figure out what is it that does recharge you and make sure that you're setting aside some time in the week to do those activities. We are now on the last one, and it is gratitude. So I like to do 3 gratitudes. I used to have a journal beside my bed at night, and I would write down 3 gratitudes. So think about your day and think about 3 things that were good. It can be simple. It can be, I had a delicious cup of coffee, I have a roof over my head, and I got to read a book. Or it can be something deeper. I had a great conversation with Eileen, and I'm so glad we got to connect. Whatever you want. Write down 3 gratitudes because it puts your brain in this beautiful state where you just drift off to sleep with a smile because you let that feeling of gratitude just fill you up. It's just a great reminder of our lives and how lucky we are. I like to remind myself about that as much as I can. Doing these gratitudes forces me to slow down and think, oh my God, I'm so lucky. And I try to do this with any beautiful moment. So let's say I'm watching a sunset. I see the sunset and I think, gosh, I'm so lucky to get to see this. Or maybe I'm having a great time with a friend. I will literally turn to them and say, I'm having the nicest time. This is so much fun. Really appreciate you being here with me. Find those moments of gratitude throughout your life, throughout your days. And I just really do love writing them down. Funny enough, I actually even have these jars. So I have these jars and they say moments I truly lived. And the other one says my favorite part of the week. And I put something in here each week or each moment that I feel like I really lived. And then I read them through on New Year's. But at the end of the day, that gratitude practice is just being thankful that you're alive, thankful that you're here, and that hopefully tomorrow you get a whole other day in which to experience new things, meet new people, show compassion to others, and just try to build that dream life. And those are my tips. So I highly suggest giving these a try. You don't have to do all of them. Try 1 or 2, see what fits, see what works for you, see what you can add into your life. But many of these are just little things that you can do along the way when you're living already, and they can change your life in a really profound way and allow you to live more intentionally and more mindfully. And I challenge you, feel free to put in the comments down below what you're going to try and then come back and follow up and let me know how it went. If you think this would help someone that you know, if you think someone else could benefit from this, please feel free to share it with them. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe. And remember, it's all about progress, not perfection.